Yo, what's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Cam and Dan Live. We are live in Birmingham, East Coast. We had a great weekend of fights, and thanks for joining us. This fights happened this weekend, some great fights over this side of the Atlantic. We had the world's heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua, defending the WBA, WBO, and IBF.
Excuse me. Sorry to cut you off. The number one heavyweight in the world, Anthony Joshua.
That's right. The number one heavyweight in the world, the world's heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua, defending that crown and title against Kubrat Pulev, the number one contender, the Bulgarian, and which was a great fight, a tremendous fight in London. And across the Atlantic, we had a great fight, three great fights, two by Top Rank, one by Premier Boxing Champions. We had Colbert in action, Shakur Stevenson, the WBO Super Featherweight Champion in action, and Felix Verdejo, the former WBO Lightweight Contender and Champion in action. Thank you for joining us. We're going to start off with AJ versus Pulev in London. Cam, what'd you think of that fight?
I like AJ at 240 pounds. When he's bigger, he looks robotic, and you can see the punches coming. He's slow. He slimmed down to 200. I think he was like 243 at this fight. I think when he fought Ruiz, he was like maybe 240. But at these lighter weights that he's carrying, he looks so much smoother. His punches look smooth. His movement looks fluid. His defense was a little bit shaky, though. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think I'd have to agree with that. It was not disciplined defense. It was more reactional defense. And the difference is, like, disciplined defense is where you use that. It's probably like when you use like disciplined defensive maneuvers, like Errol Spence or Vasily Lomachenko. Reactive is more like if you anticipated, like what I used to do when I was fighting. When you stick your chin in the air, it's kind of like it's like that off. Like, that rogue defense, you're not allowed to do it. You're not supposed to do it, but it's like you do it quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that the defense that he was using, it was new. And the way he was rolling those hooks is why he was rolling with the hooks. He was, it was unorthodox, but it was incredibly effective because seldom did he get tagged.
Yeah, but then when he was going back with his hands up, that's when he was getting tagged. That's when he was getting tagged. And outside of that small little, that small little defensive, small little defensive things that I like. I mean, I like it, man. I just like the way he moved. He was fluid in the ring. He was quick. He was on his toes, and he still had the power.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Still had the power. Just because he came down 20 pounds doesn't mean that the power still wasn't going to be there. The power was still there, and it was funny too because I was watching the fights with one of my friends. And he was like, "Yo, look at his back. Why is his back so big?" And like he looks the same way. He's a little bit more leaner. He's a little bit more muscular, but you could tell that the fluidity in his punches was just awesome. And I think if he stays at that weight and don't go up, I think he'll be a problem for the next opponent, which they was saying could be Tyson Fury. They trying to do a 2-fight deal with Tyson Fury. We'll see what happens with that, though. But my hats off to Anthony Joshua and the Pulev, because Pulev, he looked good, but
he looked good, yeah.
Them right hands, though. And them hooks, not the hooks on the back, the uppercuts. Yo, he hit him like 5 straight uppercuts
in a row. He's ripped like 5 uppercuts in a row at 2 different stages of the fight. Went bam, 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 bam. It reminded me of kind of a little bit of Vasily, but as Vasily Lomachenko would land those uppercuts in succession, but it like much more powerful. I can imagine Anthony Joshua hits kind of different than Vasily Lomachenko, but it was a truly great performance by him. It's a great performance by Anthony Joshua. And so my take on the fight, it was beautiful. The thing is, after the Ruiz fight, a lot of people talk about Joshua's chin, and a lot of and don't forget, Kubrat Pulev has only lost once, and that was to Vladimir Klitschko. He's been a perennial contender for the better part of this decade, and he's always been up there. He's been knocking out people, beating people. He beat Tyson Fury's cousin, Louis Fury, who a lot of people thought him and Tyson were gonna hold the heavyweight division together like the Klitschko brothers did. He beat him. He beat Derek Chisora, and he beat other numerous contenders on his way to this point to become the IBF #1 contender. And so he wasn't. A lot of people may have thought he was like, but he wasn't a slouch. Despite his age, especially in the heavyweight division, anything can happen, and that's what a lot of people didn't, seem to forget. Anything can happen. Dillian White, Alex Povetkin, anything can happen. And so it's so exciting. And I was excited in this fight. Anthony Joshua's excitement personified. You know what I mean? He was boxing incredibly well. He was patient. He was he's timing his uppercuts, double jab. He was jabbing. And even when he stunned Pulev, he wasn't rushing the finish. He saw the finish coming in. Every time he'd try to finish him, he'd do it starting with his jab. It wasn't ever anything wild, And so I say hats off to him with a great performance and great improvements. And yeah, I say that was a great performance. I did see some flaws, but I feel like now moving forward, to be able to do, I don't know, it's just interesting. It's interesting. Maybe a lot of people talk about Joshua's heart. Does he have heart? It hasn't been brought. No one has really done anything to bring it out of him. But because that fight, a lot of people can say that fight was one-sided and was too easy. To be at that level of Fury and Wilder, he needs to go to the trenches and see if he can come out of those trenches. You know what I mean?
So I gotta disagree, man. That man got heart. Cause remember what happened with Klitschko? Then Klitschko knocked him down like two times in the fight.
Yeah, he did.
And he got up and he beat Klitschko. So to say he don't have heart, I don't know what people are saying, man.
But what people are gonna say
against Andy Ruiz though, the first time, he had a bad night.
Yeah, he had a bad night. He had a bad night,
and it happens.
Yeah, no, it happens. It happens, and I just hope that AJ doesn't. For example, one guy who I said has faced great adversity in his fights is Tyson Fury against the cruiserweight
Steve Cunningham.
Steve Cunningham when he got dropped then, and against Deontay Bronze-Bomber Wilder when he got dropped then. He's kind of so nothing will really phase him, if you know what I mean.
I think he had another fight though. It was last year when he got cut over the eye or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Against that's one of his fighters. And so I feel like I would like AJ to face some type of, so that when something happens in the ring, it doesn't phase him. You know what I'm saying? Like Klitschko did do his thing in London, but at the same time, a lot of people talk about Klitschko's age. You know what I'm saying? I want AJ to get in there, feel uncomfortable, to become comfortable. I don't want.
I gotta disagree with you though, man. He did face adversity with that loss towards Andy Ruiz, and then he came back to show that he's still a champion. He ain't knock him out. He got his belts back. So that's number one in my book. Sorry.
It was a great performance. So at the end of the day, it was a great performance. And moving on, the fights has to happen in 2020. The fights have to happen in 2020.
Yeah. Oh man, so we're gonna come up, we're gonna get back on the plane and we're gonna come back over to the East. Actually, East Coast, man. Yeah, on the East Coast, man. We had my man Chris Colbert in action, and on BBC, Little B Hop, aka Prime Time. And wow, I was amazed and a little bit disappointed at the same time with Chris Colbert. He stopped dude in the 11th round, but I thought that he could have stopped dude in the 6th round. The fight shouldn't have went as long as it went. He continuously, to me, was playing around with this guy, showing his great defensive skills. There was parts of the fight where he had his hands down. The guy was throwing punches, and Chris Colbert was dipping and diving around him. The guy wasn't even hitting Chris Colbert. But I felt like, you're doing that. It's too much showboating. And if you go up against some of the upper echelon fighters at 130, like another dude that was in action on Saturday night, Shakur Stevenson, or Tank Davis, if he comes back down to 130, Tevin Farmer, I don't know if that will fly with those guys in the ring, man. So I want to see him be a lot more focused in the ring.
Yeah.
And if he does that, I think he's a problem. But if he does that, he can be that top tier guy at 130.
100%, 100%.
100%. He could be that.
That's indicative of Chris Colbert. Colbert is young, you know what I'm saying, and he is one of those guys who likes to have fun in the ring and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? He's doing it. He's been doing it, you know, for a long time, and so. But
Yeah. I believe it. I've seen it too. But sometimes it's just like, yo, just get him out of there.
Yeah.
just get him out of there, man. Just get him out of there. Don't even keep him around that long, man. Just get him out of there. And especially the type of guy that he was fighting, he could have been got him out of there. Unlike Shakur Stevenson now Shakur Stevenson, he also was in action, which was kind of funny because it's like once Chris Colbert fight ended, Shakur Stevenson ran right into action. I switched right over from Showtime right into ESPN. And with Shakur Stevenson, I think the opponent that he had was a lot tougher than he probably thought he was gonna be, because that fight went the distance. And Shakur Stevenson, like, he stayed focused and put the gas on the whole time. He was in and out, boxing beautifully. Defense was superb as usual, but he just couldn't get that guy out of there, man. I mean, he that guy with everything, but the kitchen sink, the garage, the patio deck.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
You know, the swing set outside for the kids. He hit him with everything, and dude just would not go down.
Kind of like Sebastian Formelis to Sean Porter, you know.
Yeah. So, you know, and it's just like to see the way that the two, Shakur Stevenson and Chris Colbert, was fighting. Just to see that, it's just like, you know, I want to see a little bit more focus in Chris Colbert, because I think if he focuses more, he can get guys out of there faster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, we'll see what happens in the future, because I mean, you got to think of it. You got to look at it like this too, man. These guys could be future opponents against each other, man. That 130 division is starting a little bit to look like the welterweight division.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you have a lot of talent, number one, and you have a lot of potential. You know, when you see great matchmaking ability. You know, I was telling you, with this fight, you know, it's one of the reasons why I'd want to become a promoter, is because when you see these two guys, you know, where they are, especially with one of them being a world champion already, making and promoting this fight is like gold, you know, a dream. You have to, you know, from a matchmaking standpoint, from a promotional standpoint, from a production standpoint, and from a marketing standpoint, you know, making this fight was just, you know, it's one of the things that, you know, gets me going about, you know, being in the fight business, you know, and I feel like it's gonna be a great fight. You know, both these cats are young anyway, early 20s. So, you know, it's one of those things that you're gonna see down in the future and just hope it's as big as an event as I know it can be, as great as a fight as it can be.
And then I think this is like WBA interim champion at super featherweight.
Yeah.
And then to promote the fight or to market the fight would be even spectacular, because you got you know, Chris Colbert from Brooklyn, you got Shakur Stevenson from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's right across the water, man.
New Jersey, New York, exactly.
It's New Jersey, New York. So that from a marketing standpoint would be, you know, that would be outrageous. It would be crazy. It would be a great event, especially even if they hold it in Madison Square Garden. It'll be.
They have to take it to like, hopefully, you know, that fight can, you know, it would be something great to have at MetLife Stadium on neutral territory, but home of the
MetLife, they ain't gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna do no outdoor fight, man. MetLife Stadium, that's where the Giants and the Jets play, man. That's outdoors. Yeah. That's outdoors. Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
You don't like outdoor fights?
I do, but listen, when they have outdoor fights in this out in Cali, that's good weather. Yeah. New Jersey, nah, yeah.
And it's raining everywhere.
It's snowing. Nah. Put that thing inside, man.
The blizzards and everything.
Be inside. We can't. Yeah, we can't. We can. No. Sounds good, but no.
Madison Square Garden.
Do it at the Garden, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, we about to close it out, people. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. We out of here, man. You got any closing words there?
Oh no, no, this is gonna be that's a great weekend. You know, this month has been a great month of fights. Not just the month of December, but as it's going back to mid to end September. As soon as you start that whole period with Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz, you got Spence versus Garcia, Joshua versus Pulev, and then you're gonna top it. You got Triple G on Friday, and then you're gonna top it off with Saul Canelo Alvarez. You know, it's against Callum Smith of Liverpool. What a tremendous 2 months of boxing, and a great way to close out this very controversial year. So thank you guys, and we're gonna be back for one more video before the year closes out. Peace out, guys.
Jerron Boots Ennis, December 19th, fighting for the WBA welterweight title, December 19th, this Saturday, I believe on Showtime. And we gone.
Yeah.